Where are we?
We're at African Safari.
Whoa, let's go take a look.
Alrighty, my friends, on the right hand side of the truck, watch those hands on feet lengths, those doors are sliding closed. Asante-san awarded. That does mean thank you. And as we say here in Harambe, Twin Day, which means let's go. John friends, my name is Emma, and I'm your safari driver today out here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, while we are out here today, I do have just a few rules for you. The first one being that you must remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside this vehicle at all times for me. That includes while the vehicle's in motion, but also while the vehicle is stopped. My second rule is just going to be that we're not going to scream, shout, whistle, clap, snap, hoot, holler, or make any other loud noises at any of the animals out here today. Keeping in mind that these are very real wild animals, and we just want to be very courteous and respectful of them as we visit their homes today. But if we follow those two simple rules, we're going to have a super great time out there today. And if you do look above your head, you will see an animal spotting guide that is going to show you some of the animals that we may see out there today. Now, we probably will not see all of them, but I usually get some pretty good luck. With all that being said, though, looks like you're getting the all clear from the warden, so we are going to go ahead and enter the reserve. Now, we are starting our journey off today in the Little Ituri Forest, and the Little Ituri Forest is going to be home to some of our more solitary and shy creatures. So we'll keep those eyes peeled because they may be trying to hide. But I already see that over here to the right. That is the okapi. The okapi is going to use those stripes on legs to help itself to camouflage. Now, those legs do make it look like it might be a relative of the zebra, but it is actually the closest living relative to the giraffe. The okapi does have a long, prehensile tongue, just like the giraffe, that it uses to pull leaves off of the bushes and trees. Over here to the left, this is a saddle-billed stork over here. And the saddle-billed stork does get its name from the yellow saddle shape that sits up on its bill. It's actually a very tall bird. They grow to be about 5 feet tall. And they have a pretty wide wingspan as well. Their wingspan is about 9 feet wide, which is the width of the canopy above your head. Down here to the left, there is a black rhino over here. And black rhinos are very solitary and shy. You're typically not going to see them hanging out with other black rhinos. They tend to hang out by themselves. They're also one of these smaller rhino species. They typically only grow to be about 3,000 pounds. Now, they have a prehensile lip, just like the okapi has a prehensile tongue that they are going to use to pull leaves off of the bushes and trees. And that pointed lip is one of the big differences between them and white rhinos. So black rhinos have a very pointed lip, white rhinos have a very wide lip. Up ahead to the right and left, they're crossing the road. These are bongos up here, and bongos use these white stripes on their back to help themselves to camouflage.
He's like, I don't want you to get across. Gotta let him cross the road.
Now, you'll notice that all the bongos you're seeing do have horns. That's because bongos, with both males and females, do have horns. So there's no good visual way for us to tell the difference between the males and females. Now, the bongos are so good at hiding that they are known as the ghosts of the forest. But we're going to go ahead and leave the Ituri Forest, and we're going to make our way into the Safi River. And the Safi River is going to be home to some of the more aquatic animals we have out here on our reserve. So you want to keep your eyes down towards the water because that is where they are going to be hanging out. Now, if you look over here to the left, you're going to see some grayish colored birds over here on the island. These are pink-backed pelicans. And And pink-backed pelicans do get their name from the pink color that their feathers and skin turn during mating season, almost like they are blushing. Now, they are one of only 8 species of pelicans left in the world today, and they are one of these smaller pelican species. However, they do have a really wide wingspan. Their wingspan is about 9 feet wide, which is the same as that saddle-billed stork, the width of the canopy above your head. And a group of pelican is known as a pod. So we do have a pod of pelicans out here on our reserve. Down here to the left, there are some Nile crocodiles down here. And Nile crocodiles do grow to be about as long as a giraffe is tall. It's about 16 feet long. Now, they only have to eat a full meal about once a week, but they can actually go up to a month without eating. And that is because when they eat around half of their body weight. So they're going to weigh around 500 pounds. They're going to eat roughly around 250 pounds worth of food with each meal. Now, we are getting ready to make our way down into the savannah, but before we get down there, I do want to point out this really weird looking tree over here to the right. Looks like it may have been planted upside down, but this tree is actually right side up. This is the baobab tree over here. And the baobab tree is also known as the tree of life. And it gets that name because the trunk of that tree can hold up to 30,000 gallons of water in it. And it will actually go leafless up to 9 months out of the year in order to conserve some of that water. But speaking of the savannah, like I said, we are now making our way down into the savannah. And this is where we're going to spend the majority of the rest of our time out here. Now, the first animals we're going to see as we make our way down here are these Ankole cattle. Now, Ankole cattle are also known as Watusi cattle, and they do get that name from the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. So they are one of the only domestic animals we have out here on the reserve. Now, their horns do look really big and heavy, but they're surprisingly nice and light. Each horn is going to average around 2 pounds each, and they are almost hollow inside. They have a honeycomb-like structure inside of them that allows their blood vessels to run up and down through them. So what that means for them is that the blood is going to run up into their horns. It's going to cool down up there and then run back down to the body nice and cool. So those horns are basically a personalized air conditioning unit for the Ankole cattle. Over here to the left is the hyena over here. Now, hyenas, a lot of people think are part of the feline or the canine class, but they're actually a part of their own subspecies known as Hyenidae. Do make sure we're staying fully seated, friends. Now, a group of hyenas is known as a clan, and within the clan, the females will always be ranked higher than the males. So even the lowest ranking female will be ranked higher than the highest ranking male. And you'll actually see that in their size as well. So female hyenas are larger than male hyenas are. You might also have some dirt pillars and mounds kind of scattered throughout the savannah. These are termite mounds. And termite mounds are made out of dirt, saliva, and dung. And they do harden up to be almost like concrete. So a lot of animals out here will use them as a scratching post. Over here to the right, there is a Maasai giraffe over here. Now we can tell this is a Maasai giraffe based off of looking at its very irregular spot patterns. So their spots look kind of like puzzle pieces that don't quite fit together. Now, giraffes are the tallest land mammals in the world, growing to be anywhere between 16 to 20 feet tall. However, they do have the same amount of vertebrae in their neck that we as humans have, which is 7. Theirs, of course, is just going to be on a much larger scale than ours. Over on this hill here to the right, there are some wildebeest over here. Now, wildebeest do travel in some of the largest herds in the world. They're going to travel in herds of up to 1.5 million. Now, those herds are in fact so large that they can be seen from space. So a group of wildebeest is known as an implausibility or a confusion. And it looks like there's some more giraffe ahead to the left. Now, giraffes spend roughly around 18 to 20 hours out of their day eating, and they're only going to sleep for around 30 minutes a day. And when they do sleep, they sleep standing straight up. That way, in case any predators might try to attack them while they're down in their sleep, that'll allow them to be up and on the move again really, really fast. You might also notice that that one is a little bit shorter than everybody else. That's one of our baby giraffes. And when baby giraffes are born, they actually have a 6-foot fall to the ground, which is literally going to knock them into taking their first breath. But they're usually up and running only an hour after birth. So pretty fast turnaround time. The only thing that has a faster turnaround time are these wildebeest. Now, wildebeest do participate in something known as the Great Migration every year, where they're going to migrate anywhere between 500 to 1,000 miles at a time in search of food and water. And since they are always on the move, when they give birth, their babies have to be up and on the move as well. So wildebeest babies are up and running only 15 minutes after birth. A really fast turnaround time. Up ahead on this island to the left, looks like there's some greater flamingos up here, and greater flamingos are the largest of all the flamingo species. They are also the lightest colored pink. However, when they hatch, they're actually more of a grayish color. It's going to take them about 2 full years to get that pink coloring, and they're going to get it from the brine shrimp that they eat, which contains beta carotene. And a group of flamingos is known as a flamboyance. So there's going to be a flamboyance of flamingos over here. Over here to the left, you're not going to see an animal. However, you will see a mud pit, and that mud pit is usually a pretty good sign of some white rhinos. Now, white rhinos are going to roll around in the mud because they have very sensitive skin. They're going to burn super easily. They're just like us. So they're going to use that mud as a source of natural sunscreen for them. Up ahead to the left, there is a cheetah walking around over here, and cheetahs are the fastest land mammals in the world. They're going to reach speeds of about 60 miles per hour, and they're going to hit that speed in about 3 seconds, so super, super fast. However, they cannot hold it for very long, so cheetahs are easily chased off by other predators. But luckily they have learned to adapt for this, so cheetahs are going to be the only diurnal big cats, which means they're going to be awake during the day, and they're going to sleep at night. Other big cats like lions are nocturnal. They're going to do all of their hunting at night, and they're going to rest during the day.
Do I do the kill and like that?
Not up there.
Speaking of, we're now entering into a Kobe rock formation, which is usually a pretty good place to see some lions. However, the sun is really right there. Yeah, there's one laying down over here. So lions are nocturnal. So they're going to spend about 16 to 20 hours out of their day resting. They're only for around 4 to 8 hours at night. Now their eyesight actually is about 5 times better at night. And their roar can be heard from up to 5 miles away. So it is very, very loud. Now the two closest to us, those are females. We can tell because they do not have a mane. The one behind them is a male. He does have a mane. And a group of lions is known as a pride. And within the pride, the females are going to be the ones that do all of the hunting while the males stay back and they take care of the cubs. However, the males are still in charge of the pride, and you can actually tell which male is in charge by looking at their manes. So their manes do grow darker and thicker as they age. Now up here to the left, there's a warthog up here in the very left corner, so behind that tree. Now warthogs are very closely related to the domestic pig, and they are one of the largest burrowing animals. So they're actually going to back into their burrows and leave their heads out as a sign of aggression, in case any animals might try to attack them while they're down in their burrows. It's beneficial for them in one of two ways. One, they do have very razor sharp tusks that they can use to defend themselves, but they can also run out of their burrows really fast at about 35 miles per hour, so they're very fast. And down here, there's some ostrich eggs on the ground over there. Behind that, there's a water buck walking around over there. Now, the water buck does get its name because it simply just likes to be around the water. That's pretty much it. They actually secrete an oily, greasy substance over their coats that's going to allow them to waterproof themselves. But that smells really, really bad as well, so it's going to keep a lot of other predators away from them. And the ostrich is the largest bird in the world, so naturally they are going to lay the largest eggs in the world. Their eggs are the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs, and they're in fact so strong that we as humans can actually stand on top of one and it would not break. So we're now entering into Magadi Glen, and Magadi Glen is going to be home to the warden and the warden's outpost. So now the warden's outpost is going to be the newest area of our reserve, and it was put here in order to promote coexistence between us as humans living among wild animals. So the warden lives here, and they live among all the animals that live out here in the reserve as well. They live in peace and harmony. Now, unfortunately, the warden's post does mean that our safari is coming to an end. And unfortunately, a lot of the animals that we did see out here today are endangered. However, there are a lot of different ways for us to help out. So the first thing we want to do to help save animals is not actually work on repopulating their species, but work on regrowing their habitats. So habitat loss is a huge thing that's happening not only here in Africa, but all over the world. And if we don't help out with habitat loss first, we're going to have nowhere to put any of these animals once we start repopulating their species. Now, one of the easiest things you can do to help out is just to start recycling if you're not already. If you are, keep doing it. It's great. So you can recycle your single-use plastics, paper, cardboards, aluminum cans, glass bottles. You can recycle your old electronics. You can take those to your local tech stores, local zoos, local public schools. You can also recycle your old Christmas lights as you're done with them for the holiday season. And you can take those to your local zoos as well, as well as your local hardware stores. Now, recycling any and all of those items are going to help out with different areas of habitat loss. It's not only happening here in Africa, but all over the world. And that's going to be the first step that we can take to help save animals. Now you can also donate to the Disney Conservation Fund here at Disney's Animal Kingdom at any merchandise location, just by simply rounding up your change to the closest dollar. Now Disney does match all donations dollar for dollar, and 100% of the proceeds go towards different conservation initiatives. Now we are getting ready to approach the unloading dock, so make sure you're checking those rows for any loose belongings because you don't want to leave anything behind here with me. Once again, my name is Emma, and it has been an absolute pleasure being your safari driver today out here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. That's far too final and far too sad. So it's like we say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So go well and go wild up there, my friends. Have a great rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Watch those hands on feet legs. Those doors are sliding open. Kwaherini, Asante Sana. Thank you so much, friends. Have a wonderful rest of your day here.
Thank you.
Well, honey, what do you think?
That was awesome. That was amazing. That was an awe. I loved it so much. It was, if you can hear me, it was the best thing in the world. I love it.
Okay. More
Bye.
from Animal Kingdom. Keep up.